My name is Louis8. I live in Port Charlotte now. And I'll tell you a little story. It's a little bit different from everybody here. Back in 1996, it was the first day of fall, and a tree fell on me. And it ended up, I had a broken back, along with numerous other body parts. But I had a broken back and a totally severed spinal cord. That meant that all those signals that my brain was putting out to try and get the bottom half of my body to move, and no way. The wire was cut between the top of me and the bottom of me. I had absolutely no feeling from my rib cage down, and no function whatsoever. And it was about a year ago, and I found out about, I'd been following stem cells since the day I got injured. And when I was in rehab, they basically told me, oh yeah, stem cells are the way it's gonna go. We're gonna, stem cells will be the future. Okay, that was 12 years ago, and we're still waiting. They told me, the FDA has to prove these things. First they do rats, and then they do cats, and then they do dogs, and then they do, pigs, chimps, and people. Well, 2 years ago, the United States trials have moved up to cats. So, we figure about at this rate, give them another 20 years and we'll have stem cells in the US. Which is why everyone here has gone overseas. Because the companies overseas, the doctors overseas have found that there are less restrictions. I went to India. The doctor in India that I met, her name is Gita Shroff, and what happened was she was originally she was a fertility doctor. That's how she started out. And one of her patients came in, and they harvested 6 eggs, and on the second the transfer implanting, the woman got pregnant. So good for her. She had a nice healthy baby, and there were 4 eggs left over. And basically what we call that is medical waste. Okay? What we do with these things is we throw them away. But the doc was a little bit of a lab rat, and she wanted to do a little experimentation. And what she ended up doing was she ended up finding a methodology to be able to harvest the embryonic stem cells. And she did some clinical trials on her own. And basically, she opened a clinic just a year ago for foreigners. Up until this point, she had been working strictly with local people. And a year ago, she opened a clinic with foreigners. And I was the 4th American to go over there. And basically what happened was I was there the first trip for 8 weeks. And twice a day, I got intramuscular injections. Once a week, I get intravenous injections. And once a week, they directly injected the stem cells into my spinal cord area. Basically, what we're trying to do is get that severed cord, that wire, to reform. Now, neurons grow at a phenomenal rate of 1 millimeter per year. So, we talk about a snail's pace. I mean, a snail is Daytona 500 by comparison. But with the use of the stem cells, these neurons are rewiring, and they're causing me to, now I have feeling down to my waist. I have muscular feeling in my thighs. I can't feel the skin on my thigh, but if you poke me there, I can feel the muscle. And it's good that I can feel those muscles because I'm using them. I get up wearing a pair of leg braces, and I can walk across the room with the leg braces and a walker. and I can walk across the room. And I haven't been able to do that for 11 years. And it's all because of stem cells. And the problem with the stem cells also is that it's a slow process. It's kind of like, if anyone knows anything about fixing a hole in a sheetrock wall, you can't fix the hole in one patching. It just doesn't work. What you have to do is you put a little bit of spackle on there, you let it dry, you put a little bit more, you let it dry, you put a little bit more until you've closed up the hole. Well, with the spinal cord, it's the same thing. What we're doing is we're putting stem cells in there, we're letting them grow, putting some more in there, letting them grow until finally we close up that gap. There's a young Indian woman in Delhi that I met, and she is on her, it's been 3.5 years since she went for her first treatment. And now she can walk without the use of leg braces, without the use of walker. She can walk just as well as most people in this room. And that's my goal. I've been back there, I went there once, I went back a second time. I'm going for my 3rd treatment next month. My plan is 6 treatments over a 3-year period. Every 6 months, I get to spend a month in India. And if anyone asks me where my favorite country in the world is, I tell them, New Zealand. It's not India. Sorry. But that's where I have to go in order to get my stem cells. And the major researcher in the United States on spinal cord injury, a fellow by the name of Wise Young, he's a doctor up in Rutgers University in New Jersey, and he was working on this stuff 12 years ago, and a couple of months ago he announced that he's going to China to do his clinical trials, and he just can't do the clinical trials in the United States. And that's something that stem cell awareness, we have to be able to turn that around. Stem cells are not a cure. It's something that it takes time, it takes effort, and I'm in the gym 6 days a week because those stem cells are a wonderful thing, but they're stupid. And basically they have to learn what to do. And they have to learn to behave as muscles and neurons. So I have to go in there and I have to work out and move the muscles around and send those signals from my brain down to my feet in order to get them to move. And that's a lot of effort, but it's worth it. And anyone who has any type of illness or injury, I guarantee they all would rather they didn't. And if you're willing to do the work, there's a way out of there. And unfortunately, we have to go across the country, across the seas in order to get there. But we need to get after our lawmakers and get stem cells to be available in the U.S. Anyone have any questions? Thank you for having me here.